Welcome to the show, Arm Wrestling fans. Our guest today is Artem for the first time on Arm Wrestling News. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you, Pradeep?
I'm doing fine. So, before we start discussing about this topic, let me give some news to our Arm Wrestling News viewers. So, what happened is a couple of days ago, Derek Smith defeated Tim Bresnan 5-0 in a dominant fashion. And after that, Chan Shaw updated in the hook rankings. And before that, Derek was somewhere around 19th place, if I'm not wrong. And he was moved to 5th place after he beat Tim Bresnan. So Tim Bresnan was at 5th. So Derek beat him. He moved to 5th. And Corey West was moved one spot below. And Corey West is now at 6th ranking. So Corey was obviously really upset with that. And during Michael Todd's show, he called him out. He said that almost every promoter has called Derek Smith to have a match with Corey West. And even Corey West's wife was willing to bet $100,000 on that match. So Corey was genuinely upset. He said that Chance and Derek have been avoiding him. He doesn't avoid anyone. So he wants that match, and he was genuinely pissed about that match. So this is the brief story that we are going to discuss today. So Artem, what are your thoughts about that?
Okay, and that's what I wanted to know, right? Because I looked at I watched that 5 minute video of Michael and Corey, right? And I was not sure why Corey is looking all upset, and that I wanted to know why before I say something, right? Because it's the whole situation is weird altogether, at least. But now I understand Corey's reaction a lot more, but in the same time, like before I get to the whole video of Michael and all that and the rankings, well, the rankings are part of it, right? Corey was something people I don't know didn't know, but that's what I've been noticing as long as I've been arm wrestling and following those three guys, Chance, Derek, and Corey, the three dudes that want to act really weird on Facebook and be like, we kind of the same guys, we same level, we chasing different goals, rankings, and then when shit really hits the fan and somebody gets something, oh, the whole spiel changes. So like we need to like those three dudes are just super weird, and I don't know like if either one of them it's kind of like more less weird, but all of them put themselves in this situation, so I don't really know who to believe, who dodges each other and what. Like, but it's a weird age that we and what those guys are doing. It will be a lot easier. Like, cannot all three of them go to the tournament? Like they can. That's what people have been doing for years, and they have to have these conversations and weird and stuff like that. It's I understand, I guess, Corey's frustration, but I mean, I don't know, maybe not because rankings are weird and all that, and the frustration over rankings has always been funny to me. But Chance, Derek, and Corey are the guys that all about that. So that part is hilarious. On another part is bad, I guess, because they are as weird they are about rankings, and I guess Corey being pushed down and Derek, I guess it all makes sense. It's hilarious that they literally put themselves here. They artificially were thinking there's some bougie ass 500 pounds motherfuckers that can just kind of uh finagle their way into rankings by picking and choosing and having this following and kind of like and then we having these problems, right? But as I said, I understand Corey's situation. All of those dudes put themselves in the situation when they are right now themselves, right? Another thing that's kind of now that I'm okay with Corey now. Before he just kind of looked sad in that video, and I was like, that's not good for your mental health. Like you should not look that sad on an arm wrestling video. It's arm wrestling, right? If you're looking that sad, there's problems, right? But now I understand his frustration. It's legit. I get that. Now, whole Michael's video, that's where I have problems. And people in your comments called it out. And the arm wrestling etiquette. I talked about it in opponents because opponents like to do that, not random third party people like Michael Todd. The opponents like to do that. Like when they lose their match, usually, oh yeah, man, well, if you pulled it like that, it will have it differently. Or if I wasn't injured, or if I, shut the fuck up. Like, no, if you had some type of circumstances prior to losing this match, you're not arm wrestled that match. It's not like you cannot start diminishing stuff right away by having injury, by doing this, by doing that and that. And Michael right now is doing that. Like, as I said, I asked you prior to us going live, what's Derek and Tim's match looks like, because I haven't watched it. Because all I've seen in my feed is people complaining about Corey, and like, I'm not interested in seeing the match. I'm interested in what people talking about, and that's the Michael Todd and Corey video, right? So now I watched the video of Michael, and Michael is trying so hard, saying how he respects Derek's win and all that. He doesn't have to say that. You making a video kind of makes us understand, like, you now know that name and you now talk about it, right? Not to say that you have talked about it before, but making that video kind of already understands, all right, there's respect to the name, like, let's talk about it. But he keeps mentioning that because he keeps saying, like, well, pull my boy, pull Corey. Like, there is no actual respect for what Derek just did, and that's coming from me. I love Derek. Derek doesn't think so, because I always said Derek had never beaten anybody, right? That's Derek's first, not only like legit win in the super heavyweight class, that's actually mega legit win over the guy that's beaten him before. And meanwhile, he beat 20 other elite pullers from all over the world. And now Derek finally got his chance, or got the opportunity to redeem himself and get that legit, the pivotal win in his career, in my opinion. And it's all been destroyed single-handedly by Michael Todd. It's incredible, and I don't think Michael really understands it. Nobody really does, because it's all our ego. We want to have our excuses and all that, but I don't think Michael really realizes that he makes Derek, don't look probably as cool as Derek should be looking right now, right? We should be talking about Derek. Why are we talking about upset Corey?
No, hats off to Derek. He really showed a dominant performance. But Michael was making one more point. He said that Tim Bresnan was above Todd Hutchings in the rankings. And since he lost to Derek Smith, Chan Shaw moved him below Todd Hutchings. So Tim Bresnan is also below Todd Hutchings right now. And the reason that he gave Chance did that is because Chance is going to face Todd Hutchings in April. So he moved Todd Hutchings over Corey West and over Tim Bresnan, over Derek Smith. So if he beats Todd Hutchings, he automatically gets above all of those people without even beating them. So what do you have to say about that?
This guy just needs to go pull in the tournament. Like, I don't know. I don't know why you want to pull yourself through this whole. It's a little. It's weird, especially Chance is the guy making rankings. Derek is the one pulling out. Like, there's too much bias involved, isn't there? Like, everybody is involved somehow. I don't know. That's weird. I don't know. I don't know. The rankings part always been extremely weird to me, because there's not a structure to them. It's literally, by the end of the day, as accurate as they are, it's basically everybody painting their own picture, right? You can think this, and it's funny to me how those people kind of go by those rankings, right? Like, people really will say, like, hey, I'm number 3 in the country, I'm number 2. Like, you asked me this question just now. That's, to me, the question doesn't really make sense, because our rankings doesn't make sense. It's all realistically, by the end of the day, it's all opinion based. If I make my rankings today, if you hang up with me and you leave me for an hour to myself, I will recreate some type of ranking system that will be like point based, or some type of base to where it will make sense. And at that rankings, somebody will be number 1 that's going to be weird enough that they're going to be like, hey, I'm number 1 in the world now, or number 1 in the thing. It's, the rankings are not clear representation of where you are as far as North America is concerned. Like, our rankings are kind of, rankings always just kind of my bad. Rankings always a result of tries and errors and opinions and wins, right? You cannot get the rankings filler right away if there's not like a point system or something. So I don't know. All the mini placements to me are not. I will not. I will never talk about them myself personally, right? If I'm not the guy that's kind of a fighting for the number one spot against clear number two, number one guy, then what are we talking about? Like, why? Why plus four Todd Hutchings is still over there in the super heavyweight class in the first place? The guy is, the guy is super heavy. 220 to 140 pound guy fighting all these 300-pound monsters, right? I don't know. My overall answer is just weird. Why are people uh so creating so much headache in their own head talking about rankings that I don't know, especially fighting for those miniature spots?
Right. So another point, Corey West, I think here has a point. He mentioned that Derek Smith is not willing to have a match with him anymore because he's above him in the rankings. So Rebecca Todd also pointed out that if you're just going to arm wrestle the guys who are above you in the rankings, then it won't work out. What if Tim Bresnan said to Derek Smith that I will not arm wrestle you, I will arm wrestle you only the guys who are above me in the rankings. So this was also their point.
Well, Derek said that he will not gonna arm wrestle.
Yeah, that's what Corey West said.
Again, that's weird. Like, are they not gonna meet each other at the tournament? Is Derek not just gonna pull people in the ranking thing? I don't know. To be honest, I feel like there's probably deeper issues in between all of them. As I said, those guys put themselves in that funny position. Um, I don't know why aren't you just arm wrestling? Why aren't we going to the tournaments? Like they just want to have that little extra battle, in my opinion, to create those little conversations and stuff like that. I don't know. It just feels like too much dirty laundry. Like tournaments, people forgot about tournaments. You are wrestling everybody at the tournament, ranked higher, lower, whatever. Like people think they're all bougie. They have YouTube channels. They can do all of this cool stuff and kind of negotiate their way in. But I don't know. I feel like people are talking a little too soon. That's what it feels like. We all get to the point where we feel like we're gonna create certain rules within us or for us. Oh, I'm not gonna pull anybody that's above me. Oh, I'm not gonna pull anybody that's gonna pay me. I'm not gonna. Eventually, that high horse gonna go down, and you're gonna, be kind of more open to stuff. And I don't know. I've been there. I think for a second. But arm wrestling to me is just arm wrestling, right? I understand Rebecca's point. Rebecca is not wrong, right? If you want to be this guy that's saying this, like, no, fucking arm wrestling. It's all about the good offer. Everybody is also saying all this like bougie stuff. Oh, you pulled me, it's all about the money. But if there's some type of like something feelings going on, you offer somebody enough money, all of these feelings kind of go the same thing. Trust me. Who said they're not gonna pull anybody about rankings like below them?
Below.
Derek?
Yeah, Corey West said that Derek Smith told him that.
So we don't. Derek didn't said we don't know that, I guess, or we trust.
Why would he lie? Why would he lie about that?
All right. Well, feel like Derek is lying because trust me, I'll offer Derek enough money. He'll pull people 20 spots below him.
No,
right?
Artem, people are offering money. Even in that live stream, like Corey West's wife said that she is willing to pay
Offer Derek real
$1,000.
money. Offer Derek real money. Offer Derek real money. He'll come do whatever.
Right.
And anybody, I'm not talking Derek. I'm talking anybody on this arm wrestling world. I'll offer enough money. They're gonna come do whatever.
Yeah. So I think that if you're a social media personality, you use social media presence to get matches. Then if everyone, all of the fans want to see a match, it kind of becomes your responsibility to deliver, to have that match. Right now, everyone wants to see Corey West versus Derek Smith. Like literally everyone wants to see that match. And Chance, Corey, and Derek, they were playing this friendly game like we are the upcomers. We are going to together make a team and take all the giants down together, the old guys. And it is kind of backfiring on them right now. So they cannot really blame anyone for that.
Exactly. And now it almost feels like Derek got that win right now Chance has kind of been crushing it. I feel like Corey's last super match, I think, was lost to Todd, if I'm not mistaken, right? So they're all looking like, they're all in there making their own progress. And I'm thinking they're scared to lose to each other too, right? There's got the fear of that the most, I think. That's why they really don't want to pull each other, because they over there establishing themselves by beating better names, but they really probably don't consider them, like, not themselves but each other, such a good name. So that's why they don't really want to lose. Derek doesn't want to lose to Corey West, right? And Corey really wants to beat Derek right now. And I don't know how the levels are working out. They kind of ruined it for themselves with the whole ranking thing and not pulling each other. It's weird. I feel like all three of them, which is not in a bad regard, all of us, right? If I was in the conversation, I'd be just like that too. Like, it's all about, your little ego. Like, you want to protect your brand. I guess, self-protection, because me saying that it's about the ego kind of diminishing them, but it's protecting the brand is also important too. So I understand that part, actually. So I think the word weird is better for that, because it's not good or bad, but the situation they put themselves in is definitely weird, right? That self-protection and whatever the reasoning we think, whatever the reasoning they think, but I don't think neither will be the actual one. Who is really honest to themselves? But I think if they can just give up on arm wrestling for a week and come back with fresh heads, fresh mind, like, oh, you know what? It's not a big, like, I really want to pull, Corey. I really want to pull Chant, right? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if that egotistical, high horse thing will go down for a minute for all of them, I think they'll arm wrestle each other. But I
Okay.
think it's either self-protection, I think it's self-protection, right? If you're the guy that's going after the name, right? You don't want to pull somebody that's kind of on the same path and have that same name if you're not sure if you can beat them, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody that's clearly below than you, right? Because you want to shoot for those high guys.
So Artem,
So
one more thing that I wanted to say is that there is no the not identical, the ideal situation would be that everyone should pull everyone. This is what the fans want. This is the ideal situation. But then there is no fixed criteria or a rule set that you need to follow to have a match with the top guys. Like Derek Smith gets to do whatever he wants. Like nobody can blame if Dave Chaffee is willing to have a match with Derek Smith. Why should Corey West be upset with that? It is Dave Chaffee's job who he wants to arm wrestle. There is no rule set that you need to achieve this, and this, and without that, you cannot challenge the top dogs. So if there is a no system, then why are we expecting anyone to climb the ladder step by step and not from bottom to top directly?
you're right. You're correct. Yeah, there's no system, so it's kind of all up for grabs. How depends how somebody likes you, even, right? Or how much they're gonna charge for the match, right? And as I said, right, again, comes back to money. If you offer enough money to the number one guy, he will give you that shot, right? As you said, and it's a problem within the structure of every federation, of every tournament. Same with rankings, right? There's not a system how to get to that spot. So yeah, you're gonna find your ways, right? And whether somebody asks you for money or somebody just, yeah, sure, come pull me for my spot, whatever. Yeah, if you are given that opportunity, and or not even given, if you can create that opportunity and take it, because how many people really, let's say, what is a good example of this? How many people really want to pull Devon Larratt, for example, right? Or how many people want to pull Devon, and how many people don't really get to, right? But who knows exact circumstances? But let's say I think Devon will be a better one, because everybody wants to pull Devon because Devon is like got the name and all that, and
Yeah.
you know it's a lot of factors that come down to it, that if you want to get to arm wrestle him, right? Do you have enough money? Do you have that and that? Like the dates right, all that shit. So yeah, there's not a clear path. So we are kind of picking and choosing and jumping. Yeah, yeah, the whole rankings and jumping and how it should be. Oh, you should go in arm wrestle. You should go in the tournament. You should, yeah. As you said, there's not a clear system, so it's not should, right? Hey, as Michael Todd said, right? Michael Todd said it in his video, like, hey, Derek, if you do want the number one spot, right, come arm wrestle my boy, then come pull me, right? It as much as who knows the actual intentions and how much Michael Todd cares about pulling Derek, right? In that video, it doesn't sound like he really cared about pulling Derek, right? That's kind of you pull Corey, right, and then we'll discuss the other thing. So, but that was a path. That was a path for Derek just now, right? So again, it's an opportunities, and if you're a YouTuber guy, those opportunities will get better or easier to get, right? You might call somebody, it'll be $3,000 to arm wrestle them. I call somebody, it's a plane ticket. You never know.
Yeah. So I absolutely did not agree with Michael Todd's statement. He was also upset with Derek for kind of moving or jumping the rankings above Corey without actually beating Corey. But when we go back a few months ago, Michael Todd lost to Devon Laird, right? And a month after, he said that, or not a month after, but when the Devon versus Levan match was announced, he said that he wants a shot at the winner of Devon versus Levan for the number one ranking in the world. So how many guys Michael Todd is jumping? Michael is ranked fourth, I guess. So he's also jumping the third and fourth guys. So he shouldn't be upset when Derek Smith does the same.
Well, you called it trading partner bias disease. So there's a little bit of that too. Plus, on top of that, Travis said it pretty good too. Do we really know that Devon? We're gonna assume that Devon is the number two guy here, right? Let's say let's assume he'll be the loser, right? How do we really know that Devon is number two guy, right? As Travis said, there's 20 other dudes that want to knock on that door and be like, hey, I have just as much chance to beat Lemon, right? So, Michael's over there. Well, Michael always been a guy into rankings and capitalize on the ranking number. So yeah, if Devon's going to be the number two guy, Michael's going to go pull for the number two guy or whatever. So, but in reality, it's not going to like that, right? Because there are 20 more dudes to be that number one spot. So again, we're coming back to your question before that. There is no system. You can just jump.
Yeah. So if I beat Artem tomorrow and next day I challenge Levan directly, and if Levan agrees, nobody should be upset about that, because I think only two things matter.
If all of us agree to that, we're good.
Yeah, only two things matter. If both competitors are ready, they are willing to have a match, and number two, if the fans want that match. These are the only two things that matter in super match arm wrestling, as far as I know.
The first one doesn't matter. The first one doesn't matter. If he agrees to that, if he agrees to the match, he is ready. If there is agreement to the match, if your elbow touches that elbow pad, it doesn't matter if you're ready or not.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I was saying that if you and I agree,
kind of. You said that they both have to be ready. They don't.
No.
Agree, you're ready.
Not ready. I did not say ready physically. I said they are ready to arm wrestle each other. They want to have a match together.
Okay. You mean like from a mental standpoint? Got you.
Yeah. If you and I agree,
nobody ready to arm wrestle me.
So coming back to that match, I think I saw Paul Italia also commenting on that Facebook post where Corey West was calling out Derek Smith for dodging him. Paul Italia also commented, and I think he's going to get that match done. He will put enough money on the board so that both of them have to agree. I think we are going to see that match. So who do you see winning that match? Corey West versus Derek Smith. And Michael Todd said that Corey West is going to easily dominate Derek Smith just because he has never been top rolled before. But my comment for Michael right here is, Michael is saying that nobody has top rolled Corey West. And my question is, who from the top 20 or maybe even top 30 top rollers in the world has Corey West faced except for Michael Todd? Corey has not faced any of the top 30 top rollers in the world. And Michael Todd is saying that Corey West is impossible to top roll just because he has never been top rolled.
I've top rolled Corey West a bunch in after pulls, if that matters.
So how do you see that
But
match going?
I've personally taken Corey Best's hand on the after pull prep, whatever. I mean, I know it's not a tournament and shit, but I know that hand goes backwards. I don't know how much tiredness it had to get, but I know it does.
I was totally
It
surprised, man. I was totally surprised with that Michael's comment. Yeah, please go ahead.
I don't know who's gonna be in, to be honest, because I'm just not too familiar, right? Like the level is too not too far, but the level of my involvement, understanding the super heavyweights and really pulling with those two guys and kind of gauging, I can't do that realistically. Um, just by who beat who, I don't know. Like Corey just lost to Todd, and they're just beat team. As far as my opinion goes in that picture, and it maybe not accurate. I'll go with Derek in this one, right? But you cannot trust none of them. You cannot trust Michael Todd, whatever he says, because he's trading partner bias is heavy, right? And it's as it should be. Um, Same thing as everybody from Cali practice, right? You cannot talk to them because Derek is the god, right? So you can't do that. So we don't really know. They're both training, they're both active. So I don't. Michael will tell you whatever, but I don't think Michael honestly knows, right? You should not know because both of those dudes are like hungry and doing all this stuff that we talked about for the past 20 minutes. So yeah, I'm surprised that the match is gonna happen at this point. But yeah, I don't know. You know what? By the end of the day, I might offend people with this opinion, but we're really just discussing two super heavy amateurs. Like this angry conversation is about. Like Michael Todd is spitting and saying that his boy cannot get this, that do this. Like I'm a 185 guy, 185 pounds guy. When I'm looking at super heavyweights, I'm looking at other weight arm wrestling. I'm always looking at number one guy, right? It's always the top two dogs. Like and Corey, Chance, and Derek. I know Chance is not part of the discussion. They're not them guys yet. Derek just got his big win. I don't know if Corey had his big win yet. So, like, we're talking about two dudes that barely accomplished something as far as arm wrestling goes. And it's not a hateful comment, it's just my opinion as far as like analyzing arm wrestling. So by the end of the day, it's like we're having all these bougie conversations about, oh, I can't pull you, you're not ranked. By the end of the day, like guys, neither Derek or Corey, in my opinion, really anybody's as far as it comes to arm wrestling and like super heavyweight, right? As far as level goes. So all these little conversations, they're like, really? Like, fuck, just go on arm wrestle. Are we superstars? Like, even the superstars of arm wrestling are not fucking superstars. So I don't know. This whole conversation is just too petty about like now yelling, you can't do this. Bro, we're talking about the guys that worry about arm wrestling rankings for past 2 days. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, let's
That's
hope
what I
that
have to
match.
say.
Let's hope that match does happen because it is going to be a close match. I kind of agree with Michael that for Derek, it is going to be slightly more difficult to top roll Corey West than it was compared with Tim Bresnan. I think Corey West,
Why do you think that?
I can see Corey West because he was able to top roll him outside of straps also. I don't think the main reason why I said that I didn't really see Tim Bresnan in his 2019 shape when he destroyed Rustam Babayev. Maybe age is
I
getting,
don't know.
maybe age is affecting Tim Bresnan right now. He's 57 years old.
Well, yeah, there's factors to it, but hey, you don't see Tim complaining, right? So I'm not gonna assume there's something wrong with Tim. But as far as just remembering Tim and his style and like that King's move and all that, like I don't know, it's hard to top roll in my opinion too. So, and Corey actually seems a little shorter than Team, right? If I'm, or at least his forearm, kind of. I remember arm wrestling both of these dudes, and I can't arm wrestle Derek for shit. Like Derek's forearm and his length is just too uncomfortable for me, and Corey feels all right. So I'm thinking Derek should have an easier time top rolling, in my opinion. Just kind of started the build goes, right? I'm pretty sure once you go to rabbit hole and see the way both of them arm wrestle, I'm probably saying some crazy shit. But for the sake of argument, I guess disagree with you, and I'll go from there.
Yeah. And Corey West and Derek Smith, if you're watching this video, which I guess you are, if you don't watch it yourself, someone is for sure going to send you this video, and maybe even Michael and Rebecca also. So that is inevitable. So any closing words, Artem?
Yeah, closing words. I would like for everybody to be more ethical when it comes to post tournament results matches. If you're an opponent that lost, if you lost anything throughout the arm wrestling match this Saturday, don't not go on Facebook for a week. Let everybody enjoy the wins. You know, don't tell them you've been injured. Don't tell them that, oh well, you know, you're gonna beat my guy, right? Like, just let everybody always take a week off. The guys that won, they won for the reason. Matches, tournament, whatever. The whole week after a Saturday of arm wrestling tournament should be nothing but blowing those guys that won, right? That's all it is. There should be nothing but positivity towards that. And that's kind of my message for that. So, guys, don't ever come up with any little excuses for losing a good week. And rankings do not matter that much unless you're number one and number two guys. So if you guys fighting for that, it's an honest game. If it's something that matters to you, I understand that. But in my opinion, by the end of the day, it does look a little bit silly. And that's it. That will be the two important messages. Be nice, and be nice when it comes to rankings.
And arm wrestle. Thank you very
And
much,
arm
Artem,
wrestle.
for joining.
And arm wrestle.
Yeah, thanks very much, brother.
All right, you guys. Well, thanks for having me, Pradeep, and thanks for everybody for watching. Please do not send me too many angry messages.
Bye bye.
Okay.